Trying to find my PureRef file for this. Because I kind of want to start working on the interior a little bit, but I can't remember where I put my reference file. Not a big deal because I can just find more reference. I think what I wanted to do is start working on the door. I think this is a... See, now I can't even remember the year. It's been so long since I worked on this. Ford Pinto door interior. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up PureRef again. If I have to start a new one, I'll start a new one. Image tab. So I sort of need to figure out that there's different interiors for them, right? So the door, since I'm starting with the door, it will sort of need to match whatever style interior that I want to do. I guess it doesn't really, right? Like it's not going to, no one's going to be nitpicking it. Kind of like that one, actually. I mean, they're all kind of the same. They all have the same, like, handle. I actually kind of like this one. Let me just look for a couple other ones. And so you see, so this is like the same one, it's just a different color. Right, they all have kind of everything in the same area. So like the real question is, do I want to do all this stuff? I'm gonna have to like at least do I guess I don't really have to do the latch. Just depends on how detailed I want to get. I might end up doing it. This whole thing is going to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I mean, every 3D modeling project should be a challenge to you, right? Like, you should always challenge yourself. Yeah, I think we're going to go with something like this. So I'm going to grab some water. Be right back, and then we'll get started. Okay. Now, the question is, how do I want to start this? Let's just take this and put it right here. Actually, I do need to you know what? I'm probably going to worry about this stuff later and just kind of work on this because I feel like that's going to be a little bit more entertaining right now. Okay, so step one is to kind of pull this door apart a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is I really just need this, right? I don't need rearview mirror and all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is just duplicate all of this stuff. So Control D, move it out. And then I'm going to combine it together. So it's just like one thing here now that I can sort of get to work on. And it's not connected to my car, so just for the sake of like is this thing okay? All right, so I do actually need, it's kind of messy in here, isn't it? You know what? I'm not even going to worry about that stuff right now. And I'm just going to sort of model, just start modeling, right, the interior stuff, because it's pretty straightforward. Like, it's just flat. Right, I think if anything, actually, yeah, I'm just going to kind of, we're going to just get started and kind of wing it. Okay, so it's going to need to like come off of this area here. So I'm just going to use what I already have here. From here to probably here. From here to there. And we are just going to extrude down. And kind of just go from there, I think. It does have like a little bit of an inward curve, but okay, let's just start with this and see what we come up with. So I'm going to extract. So we just have that now. And just going to snap it. I'll be honest, I don't have a huge plan for this, or I don't have any plan really. But my attitude with stuff like this is always, you just got to start it. And chances are it will be wrong. Right, but it's almost like, I mean, it's a lot like any painting or sculpting or anything like that, where you just start out with a mess and you eventually sort of hit like a stride along the way. I mean, I really think that's kind of what it's all about, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is kind of build out this shape a little bit. So there's probably a lip at the bottom, something like that. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of this I'm just sort of going to be eyeballing. But I mean, that's what you do, right? So you just, I'm not trying to get exact measurements or anything. Right, and then we just got some N-gons we got to fix. Easy enough. This can just do something like that for now. I don't know if that's the way it'll stay, but that is more than good enough for now. Now, it seems like I mean, actually, the more I look at this, the kind of easier it starts to seem. But it does have like a divot where that fabric, this whole area here is. Oh, you can't see it. It does kind of bend in a little bit too, huh? So let's do that. Actually, I'm just going to slice it. That. See, I don't like how that is bending so much like that. And it's because of this. So I can fix that by taking and just making an edge loop all the way across here. So here's what I'm talking about. Hey Knox, how's it going? This is the door for my Ford Pinto. Figured it was time to start working on this, so I thought I would do it in the stream. But here's what I'm talking about with this. Like if I add an edge loop, see how it curves up like that? I don't really want that to happen. So if I take an edge loop and just go all the way across, right? And now my edge loop will be straight because it's not trying to conform to that shape. But I don't want there to be much of a curve, just kind of a small curve. How's your night going, Knox? Yeah, so this is the car that's on my YouTube channel. If you go check out my YouTube channel, it's I have like 28 videos of me modeling this car. Be chilling. I was doing a game stream on. I don't know if you saw it, but I was doing a game. I was streaming Final Fantasy 14, and I got so frustrated because I streamed for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was nothing but cutscenes and dialogue. And I was like, I just want to go kill stuff. So I kind of gave up on it and started modeling. Let me link you my YouTube real quick. So if you are interested in the the series, there it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the game. I've always played MMOs. I've always been kind of not a big MMO guy, but I enjoy MMOs. And they're not doing very good these days. But I've been enjoying Final Fantasy 14. It's just a lot of dialogue, a lot of cutscenes, so it's boring. It's just boring. Like, it's boring. If I weren't streaming, if I was just like sitting on my couch and I wanted that sort of story, it would be fine. But sometimes you just want to go kill stuff, and that wasn't the fix that it was giving me. Okay, so there's probably like right here. So this one to this one, it does kind of bend in. So how do I want to do that? I think what I'm going to try to do is delete these on either side. And then I'll take these. I should probably try to straighten that out, huh? All right, so now take all of these, extrude inward. Don't want these. I definitely extruded those in too much. It's not a huge indentation there, but it is an indentation. Enough to probably bevel. I don't don't think I should bevel that. Okay, so now I want to kind of rebuild this area with bridge. It's funny, that stream that I did earlier probably has a lot to do with just the fact that I was streaming a game that is kind of niche. Not a lot of people play it. But I've always, I kind of had the impression, oh, I'm streaming a video game, so I'll get more viewers. And I never get a lot of viewers, but it actually seems like more people are interested in this than Final Fantasy XIV. Which I find kind of funny. And you know, I probably don't even need all this interior geometry. I'll probably get rid of it because you're not going to see it. But this will at least sort of help me build out this shape a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much what I want, but probably need another edge loop here just to support. Yeah, so it's probably more along the lines of that. I think I need more reference because there is some more details up here. Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's like more. This is kind of a low-res picture, but there's this whole thing right here, and then it kind of dips in right there, which I'm not super worried about that for now, but I do want to. And then it kind of goes around where the lock is. So let's see. See, I almost think that it's not quite as round, so let's kind of back these shapes up a little bit. It always takes me a while to get back in the groove of like specific types of modeling. Because I tend to model in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes I'm sculpting in ZBrush. Sometimes I'm doing really organic things. Sometimes I'm doing like more low poly, like the little forest house that I've been doing. And it always seems to kind of take me a while to sort of recalibrate my mindset. And I feel like my brain is in a very messy, organic mode right now, when I should be in a more organized mode. But that's okay. I feel like it's better that I'm doing something than nothing, right? So when you just sit around and think about things and do nothing, you're doing nothing, right? At least even if you're doing something wrong, you're doing something, right? So and this is like, especially this part down here is more of like a leather. I can mess up on that, but I want to get this as nice and straight and crisp as I can. So the question is, how do I do that? Probably easier than I'm making it seem. And at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think I'm on the right track here with this shape. I just got to kind of dial it in. See, like this gets sharp comes up like in this direction here and then kind of goes down like this. I'm not sure if that's the way I want to keep it, but hold on, be right back. Okay. That's what I want. But that's got to be a much sharper crease. We'll try it. Oh. Too sharp, I think. Too sharp of a crease. Let's try. Trying to figure out what I want to do with this. I'm going to bevel this instead. It's a sharp crease, but not as sharp as I had it. I think that's good enough. That's pretty good. Whoa. That's pretty close to what I'm trying to do there, I think. I just need to get rid of this edge loop. Okay. Should put this maybe I shouldn't. Did I already zero out the transforms? Yeah, that's okay. But I think it'll look a little bit more interesting if I have it kind of floating above the car like this. Okay, so should I do the... No, I'm not going to do that yet. This is kind of where my mind's at, is doing this stuff like the padding. I'm sure I can do it. I just I'm trying to kind of work out how, because it will like if you look really close here, it kind of deforms around these handles here, so it will kind of deform around the handles. I might even have to kind of dig in a little bit with the sculpt tools. Like the stitching, I'm not worried about, because I can do that. If I model it right, I can do that with texturing. So I'm not worried about modeling in that tiny detail and the stitching. But I think the first thing that we need to do is just kind of establish this whole thing and kind of start with the bigger shapes and work down to the smaller shapes. So that's what I'm going to do. And the way that I sort of like doing that is using existing geometry. So what I'll do is I'll take sort of this, actually let's go all the way up here with it. So if I can ever avoid like grabbing a cube and making a new cube and like putting it in the right spot and like forming it and fitting it and all that stuff, if I can avoid doing that, I hate doing that. I hate making a cube with it starts on the grid and then kind of moving it around. So if I want something to match existing geometry, like that, like that leather paneling, and I have like the spot for that leather paneling, I'm just going to kind of select the edges where I want that to go. And then I can just extrude. I'm going to just extrude straight out with it. Something like that. And then I have something I can start with, right? And of course that's bad geometry. That's not manifold. It's T-faces, right? But I can just extract this. So edit mesh, extract. And now I have a piece of geometry that I can, that's in the exact right spot. The right shape and everything matches it perfectly, right? So anytime I can avoid just like making something new and kind of getting it to fit in there by doing this, yeah, that's always way better. Probably shape it, optimize it, right? I don't need that edge. Probably move this one up a little bit. We'll keep those. No, you know what? I'll probably bevel those a little bit, so I'm going to get rid of them. And then it's just a matter of like selecting your edges. Should be able to select them and bridge them up. No, won't let me bridge. Let me make sure I do that in the right order. It'll only work if there's the equal number. But if not, you can just count, right? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they should bridge up the other way. So that's why they're not bridging up. Let me turn on, or let me turn off two-sided lighting so I can actually see what this is doing. So yeah, so my normals are all kind of mixed up there. So that's why that wasn't working. So we'll go to mesh display, conform, and reverse. Okay, now let's try it. There we go. See if we can go all the way across now. Yeah, okay. I'm going to check my audio real quick. My mic, I streamed for like 2 hours the other night and my mic was all messed up and no one ever said anything to me about it. So periodically I'm just checking my mic. So periodically I'm just checking my mic and we're good to go. Yeah, I streamed for like 2 hours the other night, and I went and looked back at the playback, and like it was all just static. It was like 2 hours of static. I had to erase it. So that actually looks pretty good the way that it is. Even I probably need to sharpen these corners a little bit or bevel the corners. That's what I'm gonna do. Is just bevel these corners a tiny bit. And that actually looks pretty good. Here it's a little weird, right? Because it's kind of like bunching up. So I think I just need to take these and kind of move them down. Like that. Probably do the same for these two. Yeah. And I don't mind if there's, I'm definitely going to be a lot less critical of all the tiny little details with the interior because, I feel like just as you're looking at it, you're not going to be as critical of it, right? Yeah, so I'm going to try not to be as strict about every little detail for the interior like I would for the exterior. We have a tendency as 3D modelers to obsess over every tiny little detail. And as a result, I think it's a huge waste of time. I think we waste a lot of our lives just obsessing over every little detail while we're 3D modeling. And, some details you want to obsess over, the important ones, but I think it's very important to kind of learn what details you should obsess over and what details you should not obsess over. So the next thing I want to do, I could do something easier like this one where it's just kind of like the squares, but this looks so much cooler and so much more interesting. And I have an opportunity right there to use my little horse that I made. So why not? So we're going to start, let's see, we need a trying to think about what I want to do here, how I want to do this. If I were to just grab the edges that I want to kind of split and do something like this, like just bevel them all in. I mean, that kind of works. I wonder why it's dealing with this one differently than these, though. Segments, fraction. The thing is, I want it to be a little bit more round, so I think I'm going to try this. Before I do that, and I'm not worried about creating n-gons. N-gons are something that just happen as you model. But what I'm going to try to do is to select these verts and bevel the verts. That's something that makes sense to me. Kind of. I think I'd be better off just drawing a line, though. Honestly, like that. Probably looks crazy, like, why is he doing that? After a while, you kind of develop an unorthodox way of thinking about things that just kind of makes sense. Let me turn my resolution gate off. Yeah. That works. I think that's a good starting point, but I want to go ahead and build this out a little bit more where this is. I think it's quite that big. Using like an old school measuring method here. This is kind of a messy way of doing this. All right, I'm going to roll with it. I mean, this will at least give me, I may have to do like all of these differently. I probably will have to do all of these padding, like almost like that's a kind of a different paneling. But at least this will give me like the lines that go around here like that. So yeah, I'm just gonna roll with it. Straighten these guys out here. There's a tiny little guy right there. You on the other side too? No. All right. Let's fix you real quick. And I want to straighten these out. So this will at least give me like that indentation that goes all the way around here, and I can use that to make the little trim, the little chrome trim strip that goes all the way around. But before I move forward, I want to kind of fix all of these N-gons here. Again, you know, this is kind of like an organic thing, just like a leather strip here. So I'm not being hypercritical of getting everything perfectly smooth like I was with the body of the car, because this is sort of like a more organic. There should be like bends and folds, and there should be a fair amount of like lumpiness to it, right? It's not just, shouldn't be perfectly smooth like the rest of the car. So this little section right here is kind of concerning. What's this edge? Is that edge? Okay, so there's two edges in there. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. Okay, so now this is kind of a funky area here, so I need to try to kind of reroute the geometry. And I will probably need to like support these corners a little bit because those are kind of sharp corners right there. Right now they're very round, so I will want to support those corners. I'm probably going to have to like cover all of this with like a different panel for those all of these sort of padding area. So I'm not over concerned about like what this topology looks like because I'm going to have to cover it up anyway. I'm going to have to get rid of it and redo it anyway. So I'm not stressing over it. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And again, you know, it's one of those things where even if I end up like having to redo this whole thing, it's not a big deal. Like you can kind of chalk it up to just kind of getting in a flow state or sort of getting your mental just getting your state of mind for this type of modeling, because like I said, you're constantly switching different modes, or I feel like I am anyway. When I'm sculpting, I'm in one mode. When I'm doing like very non-organic modeling or hard surface modeling like this, I'm in a completely another mode or mindset. So if anything, I'm just sort of allowing myself to get into that mode. So even if I end up just redoing all of this stuff, it's not a big deal. All right, so now I'm going to also bevel these. That's pretty close, just like by default. But I will need to add some support edges into the corner. That one's definitely a little bit thinner. Right, this indentation here is a little bit thinner than this indentation. So that will hit all four of those corners there. And again, I'm not concerned about this topology, it's going to look a little bit ugly, but I'm going to end up covering all of it up anyway, so let's do it like that. But I don't like that. Let's try to reroute this a little bit. Yeah, it's ugly geometry, but it will give me what I need. Same with this. This is going to be that wood texture and chrome texture, so I'm not overly concerned about getting it perfectly right. I'm more concerned with the in-between areas, right? So like these areas here and here. In fact, I probably should have just started with those, like just this whole outer shape, but this will definitely give me what I need, one way or the other. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. Hope I'm entertaining you enough, or at least like calming you or soothing you enough. I've been told I have a ASMR voice, which isn't good when I'm trying to use my voice to teach a class, but I get it. Okay, so now I can take this entire edge ring, face ring, and extrude that in a bit. With a little bit of offset. Like that. Is that too much? I feel like that's too much. I always feel like, yeah, it does need to go in a little bit. But it goes in and then it pretty much just goes right to this chrome strip here. So even if that's too much, I'm not really concerned about, yeah, so we're going to roll with it. We're going to fly with it. So extrude, just go in a tiny bit and a little bit of offset. Yeah, and then I'm going to do the same thing for this one. That's pretty good. And then I feel like I could probably just go ahead and delete the interior stuff because I'm going to build it out more anyway. Probably just be easier for me to sort of think about. Yeah, so just going to go ahead and delete these interior panels. I could go ahead and delete all of this stuff too. I'm going to leave it for now though. But yeah, that's basically all I need for that. Let's try to do these. Let's try to do this sort of puffiness, puffy pads. Okay, so all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bridge just to get a face to work with. So I'm just going to bridge across these two panels here, and then I'm going to take this face and edit mesh, extract. So then I just have a face by itself there that I can kind of work with. So that's just so much easier to me than worrying about like moving a polygon around, and you know, actually, you know what would be even better is if I just took that whole interior section there like that. Let's make sure I don't have, I could just take that whole interior section and mesh fill hole, and then I could edit mesh extract this, and then I have a whole sort of polygon face that kind of fits that, and I don't even need all of the, in fact I'm going to get rid of a lot of the verts here because all I want really to start is just the four corners of that. So yeah, I'm just going to delete everything but the four corners that I need. And then I have a plane, a starting point for a plane that's just like perfectly, it's perfect, right? It's right where I need it to be. I don't have to worry about making a cube and dragging it into position and moving it around and all that stuff. So now to make all these pads, I need evenly spaced divisions. And there's different ways I could go about doing that. I'm going to start by counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So there's 20. They don't need to be exactly 20. I just want to get a ballpark of how many sort of divisions are there. And then I can kind of just wing it from there. So there's different ways I can divide this up. I could, you could just grab your multi-cut tool and just go like 50%, 50%, right? So I could just do like 50% in the middle, 50 there, 50 there, and keep doing that until I have 20. I could also just smooth it. So I can just do a smooth function. on it and just increase the divisions until I have like 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's, let's see, if I did 5, that's going to be probably more than I need. So I think that'll be fine. To be perfectly honest, this is only going to give me like 14, but that's fine. And then I'm just going to delete all of these. Right, so now I have like even divisions, and I can use that as my starting point for all of my padding. And then I obviously need to kind of delete it where I don't want it, like right in here. So I'm going to grab my multi-cut tool and just kind of cut. So I'm going to make a sort of a bigger gap than what I think that I need, because there is no, actually on second thought, now that I'm looking at it, it is kind of a smaller gap, because there will be that chrome strip there, and then it just goes like right to the padding. So something like that. Not worried about the Ingons just yet. I'm going to take all of my faces here. And we're going to try extruding. But I'm going to keep faces together off. That way they all extrude individually. I want this to be fairly tight. And then same thing, extrude again. This time I'm going to give them some thickness. There will be some corners where it kind of messes up. If you're lucky, it's only going to be like 1 or 2 corners, like right here. And we will need to add some support edges to kind of hold those guys together. Right, so it's going to kind of look like crap at first, but all we need is support edges that go along here. Whoop. Right, so we'll do them up top first, because then I fix that, and that actually didn't mess up too much right here. So It'll still be an N-gon, but I think a triangle will do just fine. And then this one needs to be that. Yeah, see, now that's holding the shape there quite a bit better. And then when I get the top one fixed, it should just be a matter of one edge loop to the bottom. Right now it's like not working because, well, there's an N-gon right here. Let me actually fix that. And again, I'm not super concerned about all the imperfections here with these. Excuse me, because it is just leather, right? And it's going to have imperfections. All right, so now we got to do the bottom. Again, it's going to go to where those N-gons are, but those are easy to fix. Oop. Yeah, see, that looks pretty good. Should probably support these corners a little bit. Just do another slice right across here. looks kind of ugly, but okay. Oh, looks all right. So yeah, that looks pretty good. I will need, it does need more geometry, because I will need to like deform it a little bit. So I should try to add a little bit more geometry and then probably just smooth the whole thing. Yeah, I think I'll do that and then kind of hit it with, very lightly hit it with the sculpt tools to kind of just give it some variation. We'll try it. We'll see how it works. I don't know if it'll work the way that I think it will, but I do want it to get to kind of match up with this. Well, I mean, it's not like imperative that it matches up with this other piece because there is going to be that little strip that will hide a lot of that. So all right, so we'll take this, we will hit it. Actually, you know what? First, I'm going to duplicate it just in case I mess everything up. So I'm going to duplicate it, put it over here, because this is probably going to be the last thing that I do before I call it a night. So I'm going to take this and smooth it. And then I'm going to grab, let's actually use our smooth surface. And I'm going to turn the strength way down. 10. So it is doing something there. I think that's fine, right? I don't want it to smooth a lot, but it is doing something. I just want to give it like some variation so it's not like all uniform and perfect. Right, so now let's look at that. Still looks pretty uniform and perfect. Let's grab the grab tool. Whoa. And let's see. Where I already know it's going to need to deform a little bit, like right here. I'm just going to grab it a little bit and just kind of move these in a little bit. I will definitely need to deform it more. But yeah, I just want it to look a little bit more natural. So the back, yeah, so that goes to the back of the car. So up here. And then where the window roller is. There we go. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going for, right? Where it's just not perfect. It has some deformation to it. Maybe even just do a little tiny bit. Over here as well. And then I'm going to hit it with smooth just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Right, I don't want it to be perfect because it is leather. Ender, how's it going? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You doing okay tonight? Or it's night for me. I never know what time it is for everyone else. Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's 11:30 here right now in Florida. So let's see, do I want to continue? I guess I could go ahead and make this little chrome strip. My concern is that there are some pretty big gaps in here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just so I can see those gaps better, is let's clear out our history on stuff. And I'm going to delete. Some of this interior stuff. I think this is a good thing to do because if there are gaps, I want to be able to see them. And it's just more difficult. I'm going to have to get rid of them eventually anyway, so I might as well just go ahead and kind of cut to the chase here. Right, so now I can definitely see where all those gaps are going to be. And I can find a solution for them. Probably what I'll do after I do that chrome strip is just kind of extrude, or yeah, just probably extrude this down to fill that in a little bit more. Because I think, see, I don't like how much this curls around. It looks okay everywhere but right here. I feel like I need I need to bevel this edge a little bit. Just to hold that corner a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, so for that chrome strip, let's see if I can get a really good up close look at it. It almost looks like it's got like a channel or like a cavity in the center of it. But what I'm going to do here is just take the entire outer edge of my padding here, and I'm going to extrude straight out. I'm going to go a lot more than I need to go just because it makes it easier to see what I'm doing, and it's easy to change. And then I'm just going to edit mesh, extract the I think my normals here are actually facing the right direction, so I'm going to leave them where they're at. But then you can see that I have something that just matches perfectly with the outline of my padding. So now I can take this and we'll try to extrude it. Yeah, we'll extrude it out like this. And then extrude it in like that. So that looks pretty good in most spots. Let's kind of fix this area here. Usually have to go in and kind of when you extrude the sort of volume of your corners, you lose some volume in your corners, if that makes sense. Which you also lose again whenever you smooth it, right? So a lot of times after you extrude, you just have to kind of adjust your corners a little bit. I still don't really like this guy here. All right, so for the gaps, this gap is a problem here, but again, I think I just need to adjust my corners a little bit. Probably several cases. But this gap, I think it's just a matter of grabbing these verts, moving them over a little bit. And then these Same thing, just moving them up a little bit. It's such a tiny detail. I'm not super what's up on BidMeteor? Like a 3D modeling video, or just like a video of I mean, if you could link it, that would be awesome. But I'm trying not to be too critical of every little detail here. And this is just such a tiny detail. I don't think it's like going to kill the whole project or anything. So I'm not super concerned about it. I think that looks pretty good. And you know, we're never going to be looking at it like this close. So I think that looks pretty good. Hope everyone's doing okay tonight. And, you know, once, if I do a shot of it where the door's open, you'll probably see this whole section, but I guess you do see quite a bit of it because the seat's pretty low in here. I think I probably need to go ahead and smooth this one too. Like this stuff doesn't like stress me out as much as like thinking about how I'm going to deal with this stuff, right? Like getting the windshield, I'm probably going to need to give the window thickness and make sure that all this stuff like fits up nice and tight, like around here. I mean, I really don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But as you know, like as I was modeling the exterior of the car, I kind of just, you know, I'll worry about that stuff later. Didn't care about it, but yeah. So I teach, and I did the videos on my YouTube video on like just modeling this. Like there's like 28 videos of me just modeling the whole car. So I did that for a class that I teach. So in my class, I have a vehicle modeling class, and those are basically like the lecture videos that I use. So that's the reason that I did the car itself. And then I just thought it would be a good topic to live stream me doing the interior of it. And I've never really done the interior of a car, so I just thought it would be a good exercise and a good live stream. But I teach full time. I've been doing it for like 15 years now, and so I'm not really concerned too much about portfolio. I mean, I love building my portfolio and doing projects and stuff like that. But I'm not super concerned about portfolio. Usually the work that I do these days is like either just for fun or it's just for a class that I'm teaching, or just to provide content for my YouTube and live streams and stuff like that, because I enjoy doing this. Good morning. I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. Atujangid. Sorry. You never know, right? Like with people's handles, YouTube handles and stuff, you never know if they're meant to be a name or meant to just be a string of letters and numbers, or if it's like abbreviated. Like I go by, like on Twitch and stuff, I go by Wandering Glenn, and sometimes I'll jump into someone's chat and they pronounce it like what Wander England or something like that, and I'm like, no, that's way wrong. So I apologize if I say any of your YouTube handles wrong. But morning for you, right? So like, it's late night for me. It's 11:44 p.m. right now, so it's almost midnight for me. But yeah, here's the car, and I can delete that now. But yeah, I'm just kind of starting to work on the interior. I figured the door would be a good place to start. But the car itself, there is no interior for it. But I don't know if I'm going to do like all of the, I'm probably not going to do like all of the linkage and stuff down here. But I do want to do the interior. But I think I'm going to call it a night there. You guys have a good evening, good morning if it's morning for you. I will be streaming more often. I would like to get a stream schedule where I'm streaming like certain nights every night or certain days every day at certain times. And whenever I figure that out, I'll put it on YouTube and Twitch and Kick. I'm streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick right now. I might do Instagram too at some point. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'd like to develop a schedule, but first I'm just sort of like I'm just kind of figuring out what nights I want to stream, right? So like at the moment I'm just kind of starting out, so I'm just popping on whenever I feel like it and streaming. But I'll probably start doing a solid schedule. Probably Monday nights. I think Monday nights work really well for me. And maybe Monday and Tuesday nights, Friday nights. We'll see. So, all right. You guys have a good night, and I will catch you on the next